delighted and honored to have the Speaker's strong endorsement and to have these members of the Assembly joining my team here in California. We're putting together a very strong group of leaders in California because I do believe that California has such an incredible amount to offer the rest of the country. When I travel around and talk about energy independence, I sometimes get quizzical looks from people in other states. And I'm always proud to tell them what the California legislature has done under the Speaker's leadership to make such a difference. And how, when everybody else back in the 1970s gave up on energy efficiency and conservation, California kept going forward, so that today you can say that California's electricity use on a per capita basis has stayed flat for 30 years, and it's gone up by 50%. So that I try to reassure people in the rest of America that you can actually do this because California has done it. And on so many of the important issues confronting our country, the leadership from these extraordinary elected officials has been exemplary. So I'm thrilled to be here in California for this convention, to be carrying my campaign throughout the country, to know that California is going to play a critical role in nominating the next President of the United States. And I intend to do everything I can to make sure that that person is me. And with the help here, we're going to get it done. So I'd be glad to answer any of your questions. I'm sure the Speaker would as well. Yes?
I'm with Speak Out California, and I was wondering, we've heard that, obviously you like California and the way we lead the country, but we want to know what you're going to do for our people. In terms of federal taxes, we pay, for every dollar we pay, we get 78 cents back in services.
Well, we have the same problem in New York. The states that are doing well, that have a lot of wealthy people, like both California and New York do, end up paying a lot in taxes. And then because we are, states that have a lot of our own resources, we don't get our fair share back. And that's something that I campaigned on in New York, and it's something that I'm certainly going to look at as president. But the real goal I have is to create opportunity again for hardworking Americans. Give people the chance to have their wages and their income start going back up again, because they haven't for 6 years. Get a handle on this health care issue so that people can actually afford health care for themselves and their family. Begin to get the energy costs down through homegrown energy and limiting our dependence on foreign oil over time. Deal with education, starting with preschool, so that kids go to school ready to learn. Fix the No Child Left Behind program that has really imposed a lot of unfunded mandates and burdens on schools, and make college affordable again. And that'll help everybody across the country. Oh, you can call Speaker. You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
Senator, will you talk a little about Northern California, San Francisco Bay Area, and what you can do for
Absolutely. Well, I'll be actually going up to San Jose later today. I'm very pleased and proud to have a lot of support in Northern California, and I'm looking forward to working with elected officials and a lot of the the leaders in business and labor and civic groups in Northern California. California is blessed because of your diversity, not only by population but by geography. So there are different issues that different parts of the state have to contend with, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about those in a very personal way as this campaign unfolds.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you talk about the money grab that's necessary to run for president and its effect on the democratic process?
I sure can. I am in favor of public financing, and when I'm president, I'm going to see whether there is any way within our constitutional limits, which the Supreme Court has set, saying that political money is equivalent to speech, whether there is a way legislatively we could move toward public financing. If not, we may have to look at a constitutional amendment, because there is just too much emphasis on having to raise the money you need to run the race. That's the system we have now, so obviously I'm working very hard at doing it, but it is a burden, and it's a burden that I think impacts the way that you spend your time on the campaign trail. So I'm going to compete very hard in this campaign to have the resources that I need, and then when I'm president, I'll see if there's any way we can move toward public financing in a more realistic way than currently exists.
Conan in the back.
Thank you. Senator, dissuade us of the notion that you are the candidate of the Democratic Party establishment, and that Senator Obama is the candidate of the Democratic Party insurgency. There are many in the hall there today who say they're torn between their head and their heart, and their heart is with Senator Obama.
Well, we have great candidates running. That's what the speaker said, and I second it wholeheartedly. I am thrilled and honored to be running with the team that is contesting for this nomination. Each voter makes his or her own decision, and obviously I'm presenting my experience, my qualifications, my vision and ideas about what I would do as president. The fact that I think I have a very clear-eyed view of what it's going to take starting day one to turn this country around. And I'm going to be asking people to support me on the basis of who I am as a whole person, head, heart, and everything else. And you know, I'm very excited that this is going to be a campaign where we can talk positively about the issues, where we can, you know, have, you know, debates like we had Thursday night in South Carolina, where we can present alternatives. Because what we are going to do in this campaign is begin to persuade the country, just as they did in November '06, to take a chance again on Democrats running the Congress, to give Democrats a chance to go back into the White House. And I think this campaign, where people are invested and intensely involved in it, is good for the final outcome.
Question here from Telemundo.
Yes, it's about immigration. Few people talk about free trade agreement like cause of expulsing people from Mexico in this case. The free trade agreement has been terrible for farmers in Mexico, and they come here. So what would be your position about this free trade agreement and people like the president of Ecuador, Rafael Correa, that, for example, he has nothing to do now with free trade agreement and the States? So.
Well, I